So, Rafael or Diogo, tell me, like, Shahar, a friend of mine, ICFG, introduced me to you and said that he wants me to understand how the Portuguese army works. And that's for me pretty fascinating because we hear, as far as the IDF, like our army in Israel, how it works, just to a certain extent. And for me, I want you to feel like the void for me, what it is in the Portuguese army. What do you do there? Not you personally, but
Okay.
how the system works.
Okay. So you want me to talk about the army, or you want me to talk about like the whole, armed forces in Portugal?
Okay, so let's start with the army, and then we'll go to the armed forces. Okay?
Okay. So basically, in the army, which is the part where I am right now, we usually we help the people. We help, like, imagine we have a lot of problems of fire, wildfire in Portugal. At least in the summer, we team up with the firefighters and help. There's that's some of the stuff that we help with. There's a lot of other stuff like
Giving food and all of that.
yeah, we helped in COVID with the vaccination also. There's some of the stuff that we helped with, and there's other stuff as well. Not only the help to the people, but we have like certain missions that we are right now. One of them is in the Central Republic of Africa. That's a peace. It's a peace mission that we have right there. We have other missions around the world as well.
So for me, it's interesting. Like you said, this peace mission that you are for in where did you say the central part of what? In Africa, where?
Central Africa, Central Republic of Africa.
Okay, Central Republic of Africa. So what are you doing there? Like, what is the missions? What are you trying to do?
So basically, I don't know much about it because I wasn't there, but I know people that have been there. Basically, it's a NATO mission or a UN mission that's like peacekeeping, helping the people right there, and they have a lot of problem with terrorism right there. So basically, it's like peacekeeping, which is one of the main missions that Portugal has in the UN. It's peacekeeping.
So they're trying to help like some countries, like the African countries, for certain.
Yeah, mainly.
And as far as more things, can you elaborate on more?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. That's basically what we do right now. It's like the peacekeeping missions and helping the community, Portuguese community right now.
Okay, so you told me in COVID you helped supply some vaccines to other people.
Yeah.
I want to understand also that situation because I have a friend, Gal Shalev, that interviewed a lawyer in Portugal. Was very like many people know about him. I don't know if you know about him. I don't remember his name. I can tell you him right now. Let me just check. But I saw a lot of people which like the army people and all that would try to quiet those people down who are against vaccination. Is that true?
In Portugal?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain group of people that are against vaccination, but not really trying to quiet it out. I don't think so.
Judge Rio Castro, his name is. He's a judge.
I haven't really heard of him, I'm going to be honest with you. But I think we haven't really got a problem with it. I mean, we have been like one of the most vaccinated countries, at least in the European side. So I don't think we really have a problem with vaccination. We have like groups of people that don't want it, but I don't think that's a problem in our country right now.
I understand.
Even right now, we dropped the mask thing. We don't really use it anymore. Just in the in the public transports, hospitals, and that's it. We don't really use the mask anymore.
How was COVID in Portugal though? Like,
I mean, there was a certain year that was really bad, which was 2020. It was really bad. A lot of people died. A lot of people got COVID. We had to use like how you call it? I don't know how you call it. Like you stay at home, like working. You don't go like you know.
okay.
Even the army used that, which we separated like groups, and some groups like stayed in the regiment like for 1 week, and the other group stayed home. Then it exchanged, like the other group stayed at the regiment and the other one stayed 1 week at home. That's basically what we did to combat the COVID situation in
So
our
it's
country.
basically isolation, and as well
Yeah, it's
as
basically
and as well as with the isolation, did you see people die that are like in your close people or semi-close? Did you know
I
who died?
mean, close to me, I didn't know anyone who died from COVID, at least in my perspective. But my mom had one or two, at least, friends who died with it. But
Oh,
I don't know anyone. Honestly don't know anyone.
I understand. And were there older people or something along those lines?
Yeah, a lot of older people died. Mainly older people, like 50 plus.
I understand, mate. I understand. Do you have terrorism in your own country? That's what I meant to say.
No, we don't have that.
Mm.
We don't have that.
Because in Israel, I don't know if you know it, but we are,
No, I know.
yeah, we are being like attacked not on daily basis. That's a lie, but on like some parts. It's in intervals that comes with time. Like every couple of months, we have some attack. So it's interesting to hear the perspective of someone who isn't living that life. Question: do you have something to fear in the Portuguese country? Like, for example, some certain type of people on all of that are like exclusive to Portugal.
No, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think so. We don't really have problems with it. We have, though, it's like the normal stuff, like normal crimes and everything that's every country has, but not really terrorism or anything. We are we are a pretty safe country. I can tell you that we are very safe. So I don't really have a problem with it.
And how do people live like after COVID and all of that? Like in terms of a living standard, are they living not good as well as in the past?
I don't think so. I think uh, at least right now our lives have been going to back to normal, like business as usual. We have I think we beat COVID right now, so we are pretty safe. Like I told you, we just dropped the masks. We don't use masks anymore, so I think we are very fine right now.
Okay. How does your government operate right now in Portugal?
uh what do you mean by that? If you can tell me,
For
what do you want to know?
example, in our country, there are some people who are like how it's called people of the parliament. We will say that to make it simpler. Who are quitting the parliament in our
Oh,
cases. So, do you have those things in Portugal, or is like the things are going fine there? Like the president doing its thing, and everything is okay.
I mean, the president is doing its thing. I I think he's doing fine for now. But the prime minister, I'm gonna tell you this. In my opinion, is not really doing a good job. He had a lot of promises with it, which he didn't
Fulfill.
complete. Like I mean, we have a pretty low wage. Minimum wage is very low. It's like 600 and something euros, and they promised to bring that up, and he didn't.
Wait,
He's not going to.
so you said to me 600 euros for the minimum wage.
Yeah,
In our country, is a double that. That's
yeah.
pretty laughable.
It's very bad, man. It's very bad. And right now with the war in Ukraine, the price of everything has been going up, and we don't really have the money to buy stuff.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why I asked, mate, like, if the economic situation is good.
It's not really good, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's not really that good.
What do you mean by it? Like, do people that
I mean,
suffer?
I mean, it's not really due to COVID, like I told you, because we are finding that situation. It's just the internal thing, how the prime minister and the government is doing
Operating.
stuff. Yeah, operating exactly. But I'm not sure if it's also due to war or if he's using it as an excuse to bring prices up. I'm not sure, but the minimum wage has been the same for a couple years, which is 650 euros, I guess. And the prices have been going up, man. I can tell you, like a house with the two rooms, it costs like 180 thousand, 180,000 euros. It's a lot for someone that gets like 600 euros.
I mean, if we like try to measure the prices between us, if we would equal it, we still have like higher housing in terms of pricing. So yes, in your situation, the situation is bad, but in Israel, I don't know if you know it, but maybe we have like twice the minimum wage. But for example, it's rarely that you find a good home at a good city that is under 1.5 million shekels. That is equivalent to like $450. Or if you want it in euros, it's like close to 375.
Man, I don't know, because in Portugal our reality was different back in the days, like 2016 or something. It was like more affordable than it is now. So, and if you see, like in the space of 6 years, the prices more than doubled. And
Wow,
it's
to
just
that
stupid.
extent.
Yeah, I can tell you more than doubled, man. And the minimum wage has been the same. So,
The richer get richer and the
it's
poorer get poorer.
exactly, man. That's what I say. It's pretty bad. It's that bad, man. Like I can tell you, I used to make like when I go out and buy food for the month, for a whole month, I used to I know my like 150 euros
That's
that I used to back in the days, man. And right now more than 300. I can tell you that back in the day with like 20 euros I could buy food for like a week, maybe a
wow.
week.
That's
Yeah,
decent.
with the 20 euros. And right now with 10 euros you can buy food for one day, man. It's really that bad.
Insane,
And you
brother.
get and you get like 650 euros for a whole month. It's really that bad. How are you going to pay a rent, buy food, pay taxes, car, and gas? It's not enough, man. It's not enough.
And people around you are trying to fight that or trying to like go to protests and talk about this stuff.
Man, man, uh, how can I say this? Portugal has a lot of old people right now. We have more old people than people of my age. So a couple of years back, people used to go to protests, but right now people don't do that anymore. I don't know why. I
Interesting.
really don't know why. People talk about that everything is bad in our country, but they don't do anything, man.
Let's just say let's put those numbers in perspective. The elderly in Portugal is like 20%. Elderly is like 65 and plus.
Yeah.
So that's a lot, actually.
I can, yeah. We have more old people than people of my age.
But what?
And a lot of people of my age don't even stay in our country. They go to other countries to make their lives because you can't do a life here anymore.
You are like you're 26 or how old are you?
I'm 23.
So yeah, it's let's just put it into perspective. It's like 2.5 million people above the age of 65 to 1.1 million between the ages of 15 and 24. That's a wow. And
you saw that in the internet, right?
I saw it in the Portugal news.
And that's true, man. And that's true. That's really bad, man.
But how do you feel it?
Bad.
Is that demoralizing? Meaning that, like you...
Man, in my perspective, it is demoralizing for me, at least. Because it's the future of our country. What are we going to do in this situation, man? We are the generation with the most knowledge, you know, in terms of school and everything, and that we are the ones who get less money. So what are we going to do in this situation?
So you're saying that we have like a lot of tools to make ourselves good, but not investing enough in us.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro.
I understand, mate. I understand. And as far as trying to make the country better or to feel patriotic, do you think that people your age, let's put it to like the 15 to 24 group, for example, do they feel patriotic as far as you know?
I mean, lots of them, yes, but many of them either they don't care or they don't really. I don't know, man.
Can you put it into like percentages, if you can, please? Some like, I mean, if you can guess.
When people like 18 plus start working, they start to care more about the country. When they start getting money, they start to care more because they want to invest and accomplish their dreams. And they see that what they thought the country was, it's not really what it was, you know. But people of 18 below, they don't really care. Most of them, they don't really care about school, about anything.
Wow, to that extent.
Yeah.
But is that different as far as like it was in the past? Or is it new?
I mean, it depends really. I think it's been worse right now. I think it's worse right now. It used to be better before, but mainly it was basically the same. But I mean, from the 90s below, it wasn't really like this. But from 2000 up, it started to be like this, you know. With the internet and everything, people just stopped caring. I don't really know, man. It's just really sad.
I think that the importance of nationality is often being underestimated in terms of losing patriotic people. And as far as, like you said, it's a lot because of the internet. And it's easier to capture us together in groups that are mainly different. That's why you met your friend Shachar, and you've been friends with him for 10 years because of the internet. Without the internet, you probably wouldn't know this amazing, funny guy. You didn't get
that's true. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it has the good sides and the bad sides, you know. Sometimes people look at other countries and say, "Oh, I want to be like them," and stop caring about our country, you know, because they want to be like them. They stop caring about what they are here, you know.
Oh,
I don't know.
Because they look at the ideal of theirs and they are forgetting what's in their soil.
Exactly.
And is that happening a lot in Portugal?
Yeah, I see that at least in the younger generations. That's what I see a lot, man. That's what I see a lot. Especially when they start to see rappers like wearing like Versace and nice clothes and everything. Oh, I want to be like this guy. But they forget in our country, the reality is way different. Way different, man.
So they are trying to see people who are around fame and around like things that are like radical, that are doing things radically. Like for example, if you like equal that to the world, to the big world in the USA, for example, we have Cardi B, we have Nicki Minaj, we have all those women who have big like ass,
Big names.
big,
Yeah, and yeah,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And people who are like the Gucci gangs and all of that, like who are trying to put those chains and look all that, it's saying the lifestyle of
yeah,
the gangs.
yeah.
So people fall in for those lifestyles, and people fall in for the
Exactly.
luxuries, so called.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, man. They fall in for that ideals and they forget that it's not really like that, you know. So they grow up looking at something that's not real, you know. And that's the transition when you go get to 18 and start working and you see that it's not really like you think, you know, it was, that you start caring more, you know. That's what I mean, basically.
So that's what you said about like those politics, that people are starting to understand how politics work after those ages when they start like working. And that's usually how it goes in other countries. Like we can say it in our country, it works like that. But do you feel that people in your country, like even after they reach the age of like above 20, for example, do they feel, do they trust the government? Do they trust how the Portuguese government acts in general?
I mean, there's some of them who do, some of them who doesn't really have the knowledge of like what's the government doing because they don't watch the news or they don't care. So I don't know. People, I'm going to say this. So there's a lot of misinformation, you know. So people sometimes they get to the age where they should start caring about politics, but they really don't, you know, care or watch the news. And when it's the time to vote, they or either they don't go and vote. So we have more older people voting than you know, people of my age, or you see people just voting the same guy that's in the government right now. So we have been using the same guy like for a lot of years, you know.
Because you're saying it's easier and people don't go deep into understanding how politics should be, and they go for the easier names as far as like
Exactly.
selecting.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if it's our case in our country, but there was Netanyahu, who was like for 12 years and the prime minister, something along those lines, if not more. Maybe I'm wrong a bit, but I would say 12 years, something along those lines. And people tend to say that because of those reasons that you stated beforehand, he was chosen. And what do you think that people miss, or the education system is missing, with explaining to us, the younger generation, about those politics, about the patriotic people, like the people who made the country what it is today? Can you put the finger on the education system in terms of that?
I mean, I can tell you, I think we can point the finger because they could teach people about those things, you know. They could teach people about politics. They could teach people about how to pay taxes, everything. And they don't teach us that. They teach us basic maths. We teach us how to talk, to speak English, Portuguese, everything. But in terms of how the system works, they don't really talk about that. And in my opinion, that's stupid, because when you go like when you finish school, you don't know how the system works. You get a job, you be like the sheep, you know. You do everything you're told, and what for, man? And you don't really use your mind. So how are we supposed to, uh, you know, in terms of evolution, how are we supposed to grow? And in my opinion, that's stupid. And you can really point the finger at that.
I think the world is going to a stage, and I talked with my fellow friend Gal Shalev about that with time going, there will be useless class, because those who can adapt will succeed. And that's why they are already saying right now, if you want to live a good life, you will need to adapt and know how to adapt and know how to think critically about stuff. And if you will have that, you'll probably survive, because there will be people who are not that smart, and that's okay. We have those people in the world who cannot adapt naturally. And then there will be useless class, which will live for the sake of what? They will not have a purpose to live. And I think that can be existential, a problem of living with those people.
Yeah. I think that's true, man. What you're saying, I think it's really true. And we have been seeing that, like, even more, with the passing of years, and we will see that even more in a couple years, in my opinion.
Do you have any hope though? Like, I want to ask that as like a young person. Do you see someone who can make a change in your country?
I mean, right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think we can make much right now. In the state that our politics is right now, I don't think we can do much. Only if there's like a really big change in our government, or I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, because everything is just in a bad state, at least in my opinion, man. Like, we have like the really big prices and the low
Wages.
the low wages, and more old people than people of my age. So it's just been like this for like what, 15 years, 20 years, and no changes. So we have a lot of problems with corruption in our country. It has been like this, like at least 2008, since at least, if not since like 1974, when there was the revolution in Portugal, because we used to live in a dictature, if that's how you say.
Dictatorship.
A dictatorship, yeah, exactly. But since then, we have been living like in a, how you say, forgot the name, in corruption,
Yeah.
with I don't know, man. I don't really know how is it going. I joined the army with I mean, it was a dream when I was a kid, so I joined the army, and because of COVID as well, I went to the army because I thought it was good. Maybe it was better for me, and since I got there, man, I just feel like I want to go to another country, just like everybody else, man. I'm just tired of living here and wanting to buy a house, doing my life and everything, and it just has been the same for like since I can remember, and that's it, man. Really sad.
It's really that hard in Portugal.
Man, I think in my opinion it is, because I was born in a family with not much money, had to do a lot of bad decisions, good decisions, everything just to get where I am now, and it has pretty much been the same. Nothing really has changed, or maybe it has got worse, even, in my opinion.
You know what's worse about that? As far as I'm like hearing you speak, I can equal that almost everything to our country. I mean, there are some differences, of course, like some, not a lot. But the one thing that I want to know too is the younger generation is feeling hopeless of change.
Man, in I always say in my opinion because people have different opinions, and as I say, in my opinion, I feel hopeless because I've been in different situations and nothing really has changed. I see lots of people of my age, like my comrades, they don't really have the same faith as well. People have different opinions, but in mine, I don't really. I feel hopeless. I don't really think it's gonna change much.
No, like teenagers, nothing that are talking about like, oh, let's try to make something happen and practically doing something about it. Do you feel it? There are some people.
And I see people talking about that everything it's bad, and they don't really do much about it. They just say, "Oh, this is bad," but what else? What do you do about it? They don't do anything.
And
You
what
know
do
what I
you
mean?
think is the problem? Like, why are they scared? That's a big question to ask. Yes, I understand, but where do you see it? Do you see it like the government or everything is shit? Therefore, like, it's hard to change.
I mean, not everything is shit. We have a lot of good things in our country, just like I told you. I feel safe in it. I feel safe in it. We had a lot of help, at least in terms of health in healthcare. We have a lot of helps just like that. Like I told you, we don't really have terrorism in here. We never had problems in like that since I can remember, or that I can tell you. I don't really think we had problems with terrorism. So I can tell you, not everything is bad, but a lot of things are really bad, and we could change that. But it needs like a big change to do something. There's a lot of corrupt things, people, just like in our government, in the system, in the police. So man, there's a lot of stuff that needs to change.
Talk with me about the policeman, because in our country, often the times people tend to say that our police, first of all, are harming people for no other reason. They are attacking civilians for no other reason, and not doing their job as they should do. And for example, if it's like going to some places and trying to neutralize them, because there are some people who can harm people and they are not doing their job. What do you mean by the police not acting as it should in Portugal?
I mean, I don't think the police in Portugal is bad. They just need like more investment for them to
Mm.
do their job correctly. Because we have a really good police, in my opinion. We have like a really good police, but they need more investing, and they need to look at the way they're supposed to act. Because how can I tell you this? Because uh, since I'm in the army, I can't really tell much about the police.
And you
We have
know
to
some
maintain.
information?
I mean, to some extent, I know, but it's like we are supposed to maintain like a neutral opinion about the police and the other stuff. But I think there's some stuff that need to change there, and to be better, and they need more investing, just like every armed forces in Portugal.
But in Portugal, and as far as like a different question, when you are going there, they're not asking you to go there. You're going it like if you want to with your will, or they are saying to
Yeah,
you, okay, wow, okay.
we stopped the how do you say, like in Israel, you have to do like 18, at 18 you have to do like 3 years or something, right?
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah. What do you call that? It's the
It's we call it forcing. No, I'm joking, but
yeah. It's
it's basically like saying to everybody that's the rule, and therefore you should go to
yeah.
the army.
Basically, we used to have that rule. I'm not sure, but I think till 2002. I think I'm wrong, but I think it's like 2002 when we stopped having that, and now you can go at your will.
And how do you see, like, do you see many people going there and like with their will going to duty?
I mean, there used to be more people coming back in the days, but we have been having a lot of problems right now with people coming. We have, like, in the army, we have lots of jobs for people to do. And right now, you see like one guy having to do 3, 4, 5 jobs at once because they need people, you know.
So do you think there should be an obligation to recruit people to the army?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, I don't really think so. Back in the days when we had like Cold War and everything, I think, yeah, sure, why not? Because there was like a meaning to do it, you know. Right now, yeah, we have the Ukraine and the Russia problem, but I don't really think you have to come to the military. I mean, if you want to, sure, but if you don't want to, just, you know, go to college, do anything you want. You don't need to come here.
Rafael, what did the military teach you as far as like the time that you spent there?
I mean, it teach me like how to defend myself, basically. You know, it teach me a lot of stuff like basic combat, everything, just like you should, but mainly how to take care of myself, you know, how to, you know, be, uh, you know, how to live like far from my home, far from my family, and maintain like a strong mind, you know, how to be alone, you know, mainly how to feel safe alone, you know. The army, in my opinion, it teaches a lot of things, good and bad, but mainly good, in my opinion. That's and I don't even know. I'm gonna tell you, I don't even really know, but in my opinion, for me, it was good coming to the army.
What does it show you in isolation, for example? You said like mainly it's isolation as far as like being alone in the army, like handling it. What did it teach you?
Like what? If you
You
can
you said
elaborate that.
you said the army teach me both good and bad, and you said mainly it's about being alone and how to handle being alone.
What I mean by that is when you go to the army, you may at least in my case and many cases, you are sent to like a really far away place from home, you know, and you feel alone. You know what I mean? Because you're far away from home, so you start to, you know, building that in your mind, and you know, you start to stop feeling alone and start to really get strong in that position, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
basically what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean by that.
I have this thought within me that I'm thinking always. There's this book of a person called Douglas Murray. He's a journalist that is British, and he has a book that called The Strange Death of Europe. And there he talks about like European countries that are Western that are being ruined by immigration, as well as being ruined because of losing of faith. Do you see the losing of faith in your own country?
Man, that's really true. What you just told me, it's really true. In my country, we have a lot of immigration because our government accepts every type of people, and I think it's okay. Man, people need help. It's true, but the way he helps people, I don't think it's the best way because, I mean, like I told you, we have the minimum wage, which is 650 euros, and per person that comes here with like imagine from Ukraine, they come from Ukraine from trying to run from the war. Every man or women that comes here, they start to give 800 and something euros,
Oh,
and then they don't need a job, and that's demoralizing in my opinion. I work 7 to 5 hour job, like from I work till 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. and I get 650 euros, and the guy that comes to run from more and doesn't have a job gets 800 and something euros. Man, that's, in my opinion, that's demoralizing.
and about faith, where do you feel that people with like your region or in Portugal as a whole, do you see them losing their religion or losing faith into religion?
I mean, we are a Catholic country, and most of people have like their beliefs. In my case, I'm not Catholic. I don't believe in nothing. So I I lost faith a long time ago. I don't know about other people, but in my case, I've lost faith a long time ago.
And why is that, if I can ask?
Yeah, sure, you can ask that. I mean, I just don't think it makes sense for me to believe in religion. I have my beliefs in science. That's what I believe. I believe in science, and I believe in people. So since we have a person in our government, I have to believe that guy to take the right decisions. And if he's not doing that, I lost my faith, if you know what I mean.
So you trust people, but in politics, for example, those people that we trust are the ones who are doing great harm sometimes to our own country.
Exactly.
And how do you feel about it?
Man, I don't feel good about it because it's the future of our country. If you look at the story of Portugal, we have been like a big influence country back in the days. We ruled 50% of the world, and the other half of the world was ruled by Spain. And we have been losing all that influence through the years. And right now, you look at Portugal, and what is Portugal right now? It's nothing. I'm not saying we need to rule 50% of the world again. For me, that's stupid. But we were big, and right now we are nothing. You know what I mean? We used to be big, and right now you know, we are nothing, man. We have a great potential as a country, but we are not using it for the good purpose.
I understand, mate. I understand. So, as far as two final messages, one about like your country, as far as how do you want Israeli people to see that country, the Portugal country, and afterwards give me a final message for the people who watch this podcast. But let's start with the message to our people in Israel that want to understand how the Portugal country operates.
I mean, it's like I told you. Portugal is a great country, very beautiful. You can come here and look at the country. It's really beautiful. We have a lot of big and beautiful cities with lots of stories. Green places, lots of stuff to look at. We have great beaches. We've got great food. Everything in terms of tourism is a great country to look at and very safe.
Cheap prices as
But
well. No,
it used to have
to our side.
to your side. Yes, sure, you can say it. There's cheap prices. It used to have better prices back in the days, like I told you, but not bad, not bad. Man. If you come here, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be disappointed. It's a very nice country to live and look at. But right now, with the politics we have, I don't really feel like happy in this country.
As far as being a civilian.
As far as being a civilian, I mean, if you work like a normal job, do your thing, You know, it's a really safe country to live at. Man, we have a great healthcare, great police. I think for right now, how you see, you know, the world. What else do you want? You need to feel safe to be good. You know.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Well, Diogo or Rafael, what final message do you have for the listeners of the podcast that you want to deliver from every topic that you want to pick, whatever it's advice, whatever it's like final message, whatever?
I mean, in my opinion, you should invest in yourself, invest in your mind. You know, be true to yourself and be happy. Mainly, be happy, man.
I understand, mate. Well, thank you for your time, man. And it was great. It was a great podcast to have with you. How do you feel? Was that good?
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. You're a really nice guy, man.
Thank you very much, mate.
Very nice podcast, man. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Well, that was me, Moshe, We Talk Podcast, and that was Diogo or Rafael. And thank you for your time, man. A soldier in the Portuguese army, and man, may we hear good things from you. God bless.
Thanks, man. Thanks, bro.